Okay, so this is our campaign presentation for the Chomp and Sink Florida football campaign. I'm Isabella Neski.
I'm Larissa Grillo.
I'm Morgan Calalori.
I'm
I'm
Isabel.
Mason.
Sorry,
No, you're good. I'm Mason Badex.
I'm Isabel Sudo.
Okay, so we're just gonna ease into the first part of our presentation. We're first gonna go over background, all the research that we went through, our goals and objectives for the campaign, our USP, our market, our strategy, and then all the mock-ups and the prototypes that we collected and created. So first for our research, we wanted to cover our organization's publics. So our most important ones that we determined were current UF students that serve as the team core's fan base by supporting the team and creating an atmosphere for the game day, and then also our players whose performance is what shapes the public image of the team, along with positive or negative fan engagement that the team receives. So with this and on our platforms, we found that Instagram and X were platforms that our audiences were highly interactive with. All people within our target audience, which is 18 to 24-year-olds, obviously people within college age, our college public. And then through our research, we also found that the accounts get more engagement when we post content like videos, graphics, and real-time updates. Another common form of audience interaction that we get with the account is when we get story reposts. So that could be results from game day, player awards, and other highlights from the team. When looking at similar competitors, we find that most of our competitors are other teams within the SEC. So ones like Florida State and Georgia football. In our research, we found that most of the content that they post is very similar to the University of Florida, such as player highlights, team aspects, and then behind the scenes content like practices and game day plans. So with that, we thought that our current situation with the team finishing on a high in the 2024 season and then going into the 2025 season with a new recruiting class, a really good quarterback or hopes for a really good quarterback. With this, we think that our opportunities are going to be in continuing to develop the fan base and show off our new players. So we thought that our campaign would be mainly based around fan engagement and promoting the new player class. With this, our campaign idea is Chomp and Sink, which would be a campus-wide scavenger hunt that brings Florida football players and fans together. Each week, our followers would have the chance to enter a raffle through the football social media to be selected for the Chomp and Sink week. In order for fans to enter, they would have to repost the announcement on their story, and then one of the players would draw the names on camera to announce which fans would be able to compete in the scavenger hunt. For this, Florida football players will hide somewhere on campus, and then selected fans will compete to find them based on a series of clues that we will tie to iconic UF locations, inside jokes, and we will capture the whole process on social media. The prizes will improve each week, building anticipation and hopefully encouraging recurring participation. We hope that this campaign will provide exclusive experiences for participants while also maximizing the social media engagement of our audience. And with this, we will also hope that this campaign will be a new tradition for UF football fans and digital world interactions.
Our overall goal for this campaign is to strengthen the connection between Florida football and its fan base by boosting social media engagement, being able to reach more people online, and creating in-person experience that excites Gator Nation throughout the season. So to reach this goal, we have three main objectives. The first one is to increase Instagram engagement. This is likes, comments, and shares by 20% by the end of the 2025 football season through consistent weekly Chomp and Seek entry posts and the interactive scavenger hunt content. Our second objective is to grow the Gators football Instagram by 8%. This is to reach approximately 563,000 followers by the final home game of the 2025 season, and this will be driven by raffle entry requirements, which is reposting, tagging, and commenting, and excitement generated through the weekly Chomp and Seek content and the player-led interactions. And then our third objective is to increase user-generated content and the use of campaign-specific hashtags by 30%. And that's also by the end of the 2025 season, as fans are reposting entry announcements and post their own Chomp and Seek experiences using the branded hashtag, which is hashtag Chomp and Seek. As for our audience, our campaign is designed around a loyal and passionate audience that already exists. This is UF football fans, especially current students and young alumni. This audience ranges in age from about 18 to 45, and the group really makes up the core of Gator Nation. They're already highly engaged with the team, both on and off the field. Demographically, our audience is split almost evenly. We have about 48% women and 52% men. But what's especially important is how active they are online. So gender-wise, although 69% of men identify as diehard college football fans, women actually do drive up more engagement on social media by around 14% and now make up about 48% of college sports followers. And this really matters because it shows that while men might be more vocal about being fans, women are more active online. So to really connect with our audience, our content needs to be more than just scores and highlights. We want it to be fun, easy to share, interact with, and be visually exciting. And that's why Chomp and Seek is including these weekly raffles, player spotlights during the scavenger hunts, the fast-paced footage of the hunts as they unfold on campus. These moments are going to be exciting for fans and easy to share and interact with. Going off of this, 85% of Instagram users are between 18 and 45 years old, and 61% of Gen Z users use Instagram weekly. So that's why we're focusing our campaign most heavily on Instagram, because it's where our audience already spends most of their time, especially when it comes to school spirit and football content. And then psychographically, the audience is incredibly loyal and driven by school spirit. And you can see this not only in how they show up on game days, but also in ticket sales and digital engagement. Student tickets have sold out for 6 straight years, and 2024 actually marks the highest number of season tickets sold since 2017. So this shows that the UF football fan base is more passionate than ever. And the same dedication is also reflected in our audience's social media activity. The Gators Football Instagram account has about 512,000 followers, while the official University of Florida account sits at about 312,000 followers. So I think this contrast speaks volumes because it shows that fans care more about what's happening on the field than anything else on campus. They're really prioritizing football content, those player updates, and the behind the scenes moments.
I'm going to break down the channel strategy for our Chomp and Seek campaign, starting with the primary platform, Instagram. Instagram is the central hub of this campaign, with 85% of users being aged 18 to 45. So it perfectly matches our target audience of UF students and alumni. It's also where we get the most traction thanks to its high engagement features like Reels, Stories, and Lives. Each week, we plan to share reels of player clues and prize reveals, use posts to announce weekly hunts and winners, and go live for the winner drawings. This is all to build anticipation and deepen fan engagement. We'll also use polls and repost user-generated content with our branded hashtag, hashtag Chomp and Seek, to boost the interaction and create a sense of community among fans. We thought maybe people could start posting with that hashtag and start building more of that engagement. This approach supports every stage of the content funnel, from building awareness to driving participation, and most importantly, encouraging the long-term loyalty that we hope to gain with the fans. Now onto the secondary platform, X, or formerly Twitter. This channel plays a strong support role since over 88% of X users also use Instagram and 58% are under the age of 35. It's a strategic place to reinforce our campaign messaging. Hit both platforms. We'll use X for weekly reminders, countdowns, and winner spotlights to keep the buzz going. Quick shareable content will help us drive awareness and direct fans back to Instagram for deeper engagement. Plus, we'll interact with the fans directly through replies, retweets, and to strengthen that community vibe and keep the excitement alive week after week. First, we'll see a mock-up of an Instagram post, and this shows the first week of post. And just an example, this is a paid shared Instagram post that'll keep engagement going. Next, we have a story post to keep the engagement going with the fans and get them asking questions and engaged with each different player during the week. You can see that we'll take a player and ask where they're hiding or ask more questions about that. Next, we have our Twitter example, and you can see how it redirects to Instagram to keep that engagement going and has engaging captions. And we have another Twitter post as well after, and again, redirects back to the Instagram. Together, these platforms work in sync to bring Chomp and Seek to life, and it builds energy, drives participation, and turns fans into loyal ambassadors of Gator football.
So for this campaign, our team has decided to recommend the TikTok influencer Alisheva, known as the handle My Foreign Roommate. As a relatively new influencer, Alisheva has gained a mass amount of followers in just a few months, almost 1 million followers today on TikTok, and has become well known across the Gator community. We decided to pick Alisheva because she's highly relatable to our target audience, which is UF college students, Gen Z, and recent graduates. Her content centers around funny and engaging skits about a foreign exchange student attending the University of Florida and its events. She has already gone viral for videos with other UF organizations, such as the men's and women's basketball team, UF Homecoming, and even a skit with Miss Florida. Her growing social presence on TikTok has built trust and overall familiarity with the Gator Nation, which makes her a strong and authentic partner, even going to the length of being considered a UF celebrity across campus. Throughout this campaign, Alicia will create weekly TikTok skits tied to the Chomp and Seek scavenger hunt. These videos will also feature the football player of the week. So this could be a funny skit of her falsely finding a fake clue, or just another humorful way of her to announce a scavenger hunt of the week. These videos will further boost visibility and excitement around the campaign. Additionally, Alicia will also use and promote our branded hashtag, which is hashtag Chomp and Seek, which would further encourage her audience and to overall just participate and post their own content about the campaign itself. We will measure Alicia's success by monitoring new contest entries and follower growth for the Gators football Instagram right after her posts go live and her following posts. We will also track hashtag usage and look for spikes in engagement to measure how her content drives interaction, engagement, and overall strengthens the connection between Florida football and its fan base, which is our campaign's main goal. Overall, with Alicia's existing ties to UF and her proven ability to generate buzz throughout her videos, she serves as the perfect influencer to help bring this campaign to life.
So for our evaluation plan, we've created basically a system that tracks real-time progress and also one that kind of compares our performance to different industry benchmarks. So to start off, what we're going to do first is compare the results of the campaign objectives at the end of the 2025 season. So as Morgan previously mentioned, these are the objectives that we discussed, which basically increasing our presence on Instagram and also using generated content and hashtags to get that up. So what we're going to do is that at the conclusion of every 4 games, we're going to run an in-depth data analysis to try to provide an accurate sample size and kind of evaluate different trends. Like, for example, if Florida starts the season off undefeated, there will likely, you would think there'd be a definitely increase in the amount of participation in this, or rather, if they have a bad start to the season like they did last year, that probably will not be as high. And by every 4 games throughout the course of the season, we have a minimum of 12 games. And then if we theoretically advance to the playoffs, that could be 15, 16 games. So this will also provide enough time to kind of readjust our strategy, or if it is already working, we can try to find ways to maximize this and kind of keep this operation going. And then for the next part of the plan, next slide, please. And then we're going to compare our scavenger hunt with relevant industry benchmarks and precedents. So there are things that we can compare our campaign to. However, no one has specifically done what we're doing, where we're a university or sports team that uses players to kind of not only have an online scavenger hunt, but also incorporate that with different in-person elements. So what we did find is that almost all online scavenger hunts kind of follow very important key performance indicators, and then such as the average duration and completion rate of the campaign, and also the efficiency in updating and maintaining hunt content. So essentially what this means is that, and this is really relevant for us because our target audience is college students, and generally speaking, they have a very short attention span, especially on social media. So if we take too long, not only updating the content in real time, but also kind of taking way too long throughout the whole process, they probably will lose interest. So timing is definitely a must with what we're going to do, and also the return on investment. What we're going to do is likely going to use a lot of resources, not only from our social media department, but also coordinating all the prizes, which we were expecting to get donated to, and also the players, because in today's name, image, and likeness landscape, there is a chance that we're going to have to pay players to come out and do this project for us. So if we're not, this definitely is important to make sure that we're hitting on all these to make sure that what we're doing is really worth it at the end and to make sure we're hitting all of our objectives. And the closest example that we could find to a campaign like the ones we did is that what Texas A&M University did with their scavenger hunt back in 2011. That was a long time ago in the history of social media, but this was there were a lot of comparisons here. So ultimately, what they did is that they tried to connect the student body together by launching a campus-wide scavenger hunt where they drop hints on social media through their Twitter accounts and their early days of Instagram. And then what they found was that it blew up their presence on social media by about 10% only over a period of 3 days. And like I said, this is kind of when social media was in its infancy. So maybe the numbers aren't exactly what reflect what would happen with us, but they definitely showed not only engagement online, but engagement within their fans and also the people on campus. So, and to add more information, that they saw a 10% increase in the number of followers of their Twitter feed, and then their handle had a lot more traction on the internet, which bumped them up to 8,700 followers. So what this campaign did, again, it was not the Texas A&M football team, but they did use merchandise from the bookstore and from Adidas, which is their official supplier. So we would like to follow a model that not only kind of uses what they want to do with engaging everyone on their campus and kind of using different landmarks and different players, but also using really important benchmarks like return on investment and key performance indicators. And then we're going to keep kind of using analytics to help us get to where we need to be.
And then that, I guess, wraps up our presentation. We have our reference list here, 3 slides just about, and then thank you so much for watching.